For the past few years and even now, hundreds if not thousands of supercars are being abandoned in the deserts of Dubai. And not just any cars. Take a look at this $1 million Jaguar XR20 or this $2 to $3 million Ferrari Enzo. Today, we're gonna find out who's abandoning these supercars and answer the question I know you're wondering. Can I get my hands on one of these supercars? Well, first of all, you need to know that Dubai is one of the richest, if not the richest city in the world. And it's not only common to see supercars driving around, but you'd probably casually see a couple $1 million hypercar or two just blending right in. So we know that people there are super wealthy, but why are they abandoning their cars? So I'll just make the answer plain and simple. Dubai has very strict rules. Unlike the rest of the world, in Dubai, if you don't pay your mortgage or the loans on your car on time, you will get charged with a criminal offense, which means you'll be spending a good amount of time in jail. So when some rich guy goes out of business or has to shut down because of COVID and aren't able to pay for their expensive cars or houses, that means they have two options. Either go to jail or drive to the nearest airport, ditch their car, and get out of the city. So what happens to these cars? Well, first, if the police find them, they use them, and their fleet has grown pretty big. For example, take a look at this McLaren P1 or this one of only 77 Aston Martin. Now, not all of Dubai's supercar fleet are just found by looking for abandoned supercars. A lot of times they're bought or even given, like this $1 million Bugatti Veyron or this priceless one of 7 Lykan Hypersport. Well, what if you do find one of these abandoned supercars? Can you just snatch it up and get it shipped right to your home? Well, the answer is yes, but it's very unlikely. In order to legally drive it, you would need to have the title, and without the title, you would just be driving someone else's car. But say he left his business card in the car, and you get in contact with the owner, and somehow you get the title. Sadly, there's still a lot of hurdles that you would have to jump through. But it's not impossible. There is a company in Dubai that looks for these abandoned cars and makes it their mission to legally own, then sell them. But with what they get, a lot of crashed and flooded cars come too. So if you bought one of these cars from the company, which is not that hard to do, you'd be taking a big risk. But sometimes it pays off and you might get lucky and come home with a $30,000 Ferrari. But normally the car is either flooded or wrecked, so unless I knew how to repair flood damage on a Lamborghini, I wouldn't take the risk. Although Dubai is still a very good place to buy supercars. Surprisingly, supercars are much cheaper in Dubai than in the rest of the world. Take this Bachmann for example. It normally cost around $250,000, only 100 were made, and it's one of the fastest cars in the world. Well, I just did a quick check in Dubai, and for $88,000, you could buy yourself one. That's literally 1/3 the price than in the US. But even if you don't buy a supercar there, and you still have a passion for supercars like me, there are so many amazing supercars to see. The easiest way, and probably the best way to see them, is at the dealerships. I just took a quick look at one or two of the dealerships, and it's pretty amazing how many supercars and ultra-rare hypercars there are. Like a few Porsche 918s, a few McLaren P1s, a lot of Bugattis, a few Koenigsegg's, a few Pagani's, and even a Lamborghini Veneno. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through, and make sure you stay tuned because we got some pretty cool content coming up soon.